Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. Get my clothes together. So, today I wanted to talk about boundaries, setting some boundaries, and what that looks like. Okay. There's all different types of boundaries we set physical boundaries, mental, so forth. Basically, not allowing people to do things to you that you don't want, or that you don't welcome. So that's what the boundaries are for. And once someone reaches boundaries, ultimately, you make a decision if that person's ever allowed around you again, because they don't, respect you or your boundaries, right? And this could be severe. This could be very serious, to physically attacking you, or people who are emotionally and mentally and verbally abusive to you. So this can really go out there. So to bring it into the metaphysical realm, a lot of people cast circles for the same purpose, because they want to interact. They want to have these um, relationships, or communications with the spirit world or different realms, and they want to contact maybe a specific spirit or deity, or demons, because I understand people do that. But they don't want to welcome in someone else or something else. They just, and also when they're done with that interaction, they want to be done. Hence the circle casting. It kind of condenses the interaction to that space, that sacred space, that protected space. So it gets me to thinking, should we all be doing some sort of circle casting before doing any sort of spell work? I don't. Sometimes I do. Not as much anymore, as the more I practice. It's just not something that I do. I don't feel it's necessary. Which led me to believe, well, if I'm not doing that, then how am I protecting myself? I think it's very easy to get sloppy with doing spell work and magic, especially for someone like myself who, do practice cottage witchery. I practice magic. I'm in my home most of the time, so my home is my sacred space. I have protection wards set up throughout my home, so I feel very comfortable, practicing magic and doing any sort of communication spells and things like that with spirit or have you. So, um, I think there's a glare in my glasses. I hate that. I don't know how to not get rid of that, but I can't see either. Anyway, forgive me. Maybe if I lower the chair, look at the glare. No, it probably made it worse. Anyway, stay with me. um, I feel like I know this is something, and I'm just kind of just exposing myself a little bit, where I have to be very careful, because there's different types of protection, and the protection boundary setting boundaries is all about protecting something. Um, that's what boundaries are for. So I have protection wards all over my home, yes, but that's different than the protection you need when, let's say, I'm trying to work with spirits, or I'm working with anything beyond, or honestly, even working. You got to be careful whenever you're calling yourself reaching out to the spirit realm, ancestors included, because you might get some unwanted energy. So one of the ways that you can do that, if you're not like hyper focused on casting circles every time you make any kind of connection with the spirit or anything, is maybe always go to your altar space if possible. Go to the same place, do your magical workings there at your altar, or some designated sacred space that is constantly cleansed. Whether you sage it, or use something else, um, where you have protective crystals there, and you charge them regularly. For the whole purpose of doing that is to protect the space, invite a certain type of energy in, and maybe block energies out. So you have crystals in that space just for that purpose. So that might be something that you might want to do for some of us who might kind of get a little absent minded when it comes to maybe doing some of the pre work before we do the workings. Um, that's definitely something you can do. Now, if you've already made the mistake and you felt like your boundaries have been breached, because you feel negative energy in your home around you. It wasn't there before, and it doesn't make any sense. But you've been doing some um, type of communication with spirit. Past people who've passed on, their spirits or whatever. Then go ahead and obviously cleanse your home. I would start small and work my way up and see what's going on, because not everything is out to get to us. Not everything is a negative spirit. Um, they might be there for a short term just to give a message, and you just need to pay attention. So I would start off small, do the simple stuff, do the sage, sage your house, start there. And then if it's something more, well, that's another thing. We can get into that on another video on the things you'll do. I had an entity in my home um, that I brought back from a situation. I went to a friend's house who was practicing witchcraft, and yeah, she wanted to show me and another friend the land that she was on, and needless to say, I brought a little something home. More than just a good time that evening, I brought something back with me, attached to me. But anyway, so you would think after that experience I would be like very vigilant, and I am. But when you're in your safe place, when you're in your home, it's kind of like they say most car accidents happen within like a less than 10-mile radius. I think it's less than 10 or 12 miles of your home, because when you're in or your home area, you typically let your guard down. You feel a little bit more comfortable because you know where everything is, so you don't pay attention as much. So this is kind of a little reminder to some of us, including myself, to pay a little bit more attention to what we're doing, and just kind of put a little bit more priority on all the stuff that we learned in practicing magic 101. Yeah, that stuff was, there was a reason that protection and circle casting and all that sort of stuff is really, if you pick up any book about practicing witchcraft or magic or anything like that, they usually start with that. If not circle casting, at least some sort of protection. That's the first thing you learn. the there's a reason, because you gotta watch out. You're dealing with some heavy stuff here. We can put a cute bow on it and make pretty books and pictures and things like that to make it sound oh so nice, light and love all the time. But it's more than just light and love, guys. It's some of us are speaking to the dead. It's a little heavier than that. So we might want to be a little bit more serious about that, protecting ourselves, protecting our energies and our space. So go to an altar space that, is consistently cleansed and protected. Otherwise, maybe we should get back into doing some sort of circle casting. If you don't want to, because you don't see a reason to do that, I would say maybe spell a piece of jewelry or something that you have whenever you do this, that you or have a crystal or something in your hand that is for the sole purposes of protecting your energy and the space around you. um, I would at least do that much before connecting out. Or even if it's just a matter of just setting your intentions, and you have to be really focused when you're doing this, just setting your intentions so that maybe even speaking out loud, that you're only inviting in spirits that or spirits who are for your greater good. You want to speak to the positive. You don't speak of what you don't want, because it's like kind of they say the universe doesn't know negative words like I can't or I won't. If you just keep talking about that thing, they think that's where the energy is, so that's what you're attracting. So just speak to the positive of what you do want to attract, what you would like, and maybe the crystal in your hand and the necklace you might have on, maybe even earrings or whatever, does the protection for you, that speaks the part about what you don't want, that you've already put that into that object, that energy of protection. um, the other thing is, I mean, I don't know if I'll be casting circles anytime soon. I was inspired by something I had been reading, and I was like, wow, it's funny how I just kind of really gave up on that. But, got me thinking further, well, if you're not doing that, then what are you doing? Because you got to be doing something, right? When you start your communication with spirits or the dead. You want to have some sort of protection in place to guard you and your space in your home, especially if you're doing. Most of us are going to be practicing at home. So just something, a little reminder, no big deal, assuming no one's getting haunted right now or being possessed by a spirit. No, it's really no big deal. No, serious, but what is a big deal is to make sure that doesn't happen, right? To make sure we're not inviting in negative energies and stuff all over the place. Everybody is just, it just seems like just a dark clouds over your household. It's affecting everybody. Yeah, we want to avoid that. We don't want to see what happens and have to ask about what spells do I do or what ritual do I have to perform to kick out this negative energy out of my home. We don't want to get to that point, because things can unravel. Trust me, I've been down that road. So maybe cast a circle today. You're gonna do something. Maybe take this time to do some protection magic on objects and go ahead and spell certain objects for the sole purposes of when you want to do any sort of workings, you have that object nearby. Dust off your altar, clean up your altar, set up an altar space. Start setting up designated space, a safe place in your home, so that you can practice magic or commune with the spirit world and so forth, so that it's always, like I said, cleansed and protected. So just a little tip, something I was thinking about, and it inspired me, so I'd like to inspire you. All right, thanks for watching. This is Nika. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have, again, thank you very much.